This is life. Listening and inspiring friends in entertainment.
If it is to be, it is up to me is a raw reality.
Focusing life's principles with your goals.
Doing it because you have the capacity to do it is different than doing it because you're called to do it.
And taking empowerment global with empowerment speaker Stone Stafford.
I had to create a new me.
And Johnny Vaughn.
Welcome, friends, family, and fans to Life on Podcast. It's your boy, Stone Stafford. And
Yeah, Johnny Vaughn.
Johnny Vaughn. Yo, this is our first podcast.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. So this has been a long time coming.
Thrilled. I mean, I've been on Stone for a minute about this, and for him to finally break down.
You
I'm
among
going to
other
say break
people.
down because I think it was like an internal struggle.
I don't
with
break
yourself.
down. Thank you very much. But you and a bunch of people have been saying I need to do this podcast, so I am venturing out, and we are doing it together. I wasn't going to fly solo. Johnny's been in radio for years, so I know when I need help. I know what I don't know, so I appreciate you partnering with me on this,
Pleasure's
bro.
mine.
So basically, Life on Podcast, what is it about? Well, basically, I used to do a thing here at Icon Studios called L.I.F.E. It was a monthly meeting we used to do, and it was an acronym that stands for Listening and Inspiring Friends in Entertainment. And what we would do, we would just talk about things with primarily music, because that's what I'm in, but we would touch on acting and dancing and stuff like that. But we would just talk about how to, be successful in those. And of course, in doing that, we talked about a lot of the intangibles and the things that come with success, like hard work and dedication. So all that was great. But after a while, I ended up doing it for 3 years,
Yeah.
2.5, 3 years,
Yeah.
and it was really good. But I had a tenant move into that space, and I got kicked out of my own building. It's just the worst, dog. And so someone was like, man, maybe you ought to do that podcast, turn it into a podcast.
Yeah.
So that's what this podcast is. So it is still pretty much listening and inspiring friends in entertainment, but that E could also mean everywhere or everything, because that's kind of what we end up talking about.
It does. It becomes a whole, I mean, it's all life encompassing. Because
really is.
when you're not even focusing on entertainment, there's certain principles that are applicable to every aspect of life, to be cliche with the title.
Yep. And entertainment is what I know. So
There you go.
It's always rooted in that. So if you are in music or the entertainment business, this is definitely the podcast for you. Because at the end of the day, that is the heart and soul of what we talk about. But we will get into other topics. You know what I mean? World events, issues,
Yeah, like, I mean,
homosexuality,
all of that
religion, why Johnny is still not 6 feet tall.
That's never going to happen.
All
man.
these things.
Still upset with my doctor for lying to me when I was 10, too, man. You shouldn't be allowed to break kids' dreams like that.
So that's it. So look, I'm going to warn y'all now. If you look up to me in any way, shape, or form, first of all, don't put me on a pedestal. Second of all, I am human just like you. Third of all, we are pulling no punches on this podcast.
Absolutely not.
So do not just think I'm just this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a believer. Johnny kind of just floats through life.
No, don't
on
do
the
that.
wave.
Don't do that. Don't do
I
that.
will.
Johnny's a believer too.
Johnny's a believer.
Believer maybe
in different things.
Slightly different, but
But sometimes my halo is on tilt a little bit. It's a little bit on lean.
call it borderline.
Because we're all growing. So just don't come in here with any preconceived notions of me. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be like debauchery and.
We don't know that.
Well,
We don't know where we're going.
bottom line is I'm pulling no punches.
Right.
So I'm always going to tell the truth, and I'm always going to try to do it in love. I think that's going to be the thing you have to always revert back to, because I'm going to say some things you disagree with. And just because you disagree with me, you're going to be tempted to call me a hater and all that stuff, and that is absolutely not the case.
The importance of when that happens, though, and that's the main thing that I'm looking forward to getting out of this, is that when those disagreements happen, it's all about being able to have a conversation about it.
Exactly.
Because those opposing ideas can help you rediscover some stuff you might have forgotten, or get in touch with some stuff that you had never really paid attention to with yourself. And
Absolutely.
the number one thing for me that I took away from the early days of life was the self-reflection aspect of it. Because one thing that you do, I do this to people a lot, but I try to refrain from it because I get the, Johnny, you just mean, and you just, like, you come down too hard. But you hold that mirror up to people, and you force people to actually examine. We had a conversation a couple days ago.
Yep.
And, he straight called me out on some stuff. Like, there's no way I'm breaking it down as simple as it can get. Like, how can you not be seeing this? And I'm like, I see what you're saying. And, it's good to be able to get those opposing views. Because if you're just in one of those echo chambers all the time, you don't get that self-reflection.
And I think I like holding the mirror up to people because I hold the mirror up to myself. And I really, really do. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say I haven't had moments where I just thought I was right and I just wasn't checking myself. We all do. But trust me, when I say I really do hold myself accountable for a lot. And the older I get, the better I'm getting at doing that. So that's why I don't have a problem holding mirrors up to other people, because I do it for myself. And a lot of times when I'm sitting there, we're talking to you guys and dropping bombs and gems and all this kind of stuff, please trust and believe we talking to ourselves too. So everybody's going to get something out of this. So
that's more of what it is. I think it's almost just like putting a microphone inside a room during one of our normal conversations.
Oh, man, our normal conversations be like, and we always sit there and be like, man, this is a podcast.
We should have been
episode.
recording the whole thing.
We should have been recording the whole thing.
And that's
but
really
it's good to have sometimes I call them nerdy conversations.
Yeah.
And it's good to have someone to have those with, because I don't really have a lot of people around that I can have those kind of conversations with. So it is good to have a fellow nerd who can talk about things like that and
on a serious level and get funny with it too. Because the other thing you got to remember is not taking yourself too seriously in this process, because it's a process. Right. I mean, self-reflection. The first thing that is real easy that I found to do.
Hold on real quick. All right, so the person that just turned this podcast off and you just moved on, I'm trying to tell you right now, I'm trying to set you up. You're going to appreciate this setup. Now, you can go ahead and be like, oh, man, this is some bull, whatever. All right, you can think that if you want to. I'm trying to prepare the foundation so you don't come off shocked. Anyway, I just know.
And it's important to do that too, because it's like, again, one of the conversations that we had recently, when that becomes a podcast conversation, it's gonna blow some minds. I'm not mad at you for prepping that, because this is what I saw in that, man. And I'll get back to my point, but this is what I saw in that whole little setup that you did. It's like people had that concept and that saying of you be careful when you meet your idols. And stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
You doing that because a lot of people look up to you. I think that's a normal thing. And don't act like that.
No, I'm not.
It is what it is. Go ahead, shaking your head.
I think everyone has someone who looks up to them. How's that?
Of course.
There you go.
Absolutely. But I think prefacing that, it puts you on a level playing field, and it makes it easier to have that conversation. Some people feel like it's hard to approach certain people in certain positions.
Right, and I've had people say that before, and it really is an eye-to-eye conversation, and we are going to have this be as interactive as possible. We're going to work on software where y'all can either call in or we'll have a chat room open, because this is a round table type of thing, because once we say something, I need to know your thoughts. We need to know your thoughts on it. If you agree, if you disagree, we're not always the smartest person in the room, you know what I mean? So we definitely want that. So we're excited about it. It's going to be crazy. We're going to have guests on. We're going to rotate guests. Chances are the guests are going to be usually someone that's going to get on my nerves, probably. But that's strictly for entertainment value.
That's my job. Now, anybody coming here taking my job.
I know, man. I know.
Let me finish that point before I forget what
Please
it was, though.
Go for it.
The whole self-reflection thing and not taking yourself too seriously.
Right.
Because the whole process of figuring out what you want to be successful at and then building your highway to get there, that's going to come with enough stress and setbacks by itself without you becoming self-deprecating because you get upset with yourself for taking things too seriously. You kind of got to look at yourself in the mirror in a serious lens, but you also got to be able to laugh at some of the mistakes you make, laugh at some of the stupid stuff you do, because it's not like you can undo it one day.
Right.
So going back to you setting it up like that and pointing that lens at yourself, it's important not to take this stuff too serious. It's very serious. I mean, life is life or death.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real serious, but at the same time, you're not gonna get out of it alive. So don't take it too seriously to the point to where you can't make adjustments because you've backed yourself into a corner because you're so upset.
Right, and we already know. Look, there's gonna be some of y'all out there you're gonna hate anyway, because that's just what you were born to do. So, I mean,
we need those.
Yeah, we need those, and don't hide them. Just all I'm gonna ask is this, and I'm not that dude that gets easily disrespected. I'm not, but at least try to be respectful with it. Only because I'm always gonna be respectful. So, and there are a few of you guys out there that don't really know how to be respectful either. So at that point, there's really nothing for us to talk about.
Y'all send that my way.
Yeah,
because see me, I appreciate the people who jump off in a disrespectful manner in the beginning, because that shows that
he has a Trump T-shirt, by the way.
Nah,
actually, you know what? Since we're talking about
currently not wearing it, but it's a facetious. We'll get into that one day on why that exists. I didn't even know you knew about that.
Actually, I didn't. Just the way you're talking,
you just do it. Okay.
You sound like a Trump fan.
No, not a Trump fan. Not a Trump fan. But we did something that was a bit of a trolling situation. But no, this is why I appreciate the people who immediately jump to hate without. Because like I said, the first thing that you want to do. This is an open conversation. We're gonna disagree on stuff all the time. But being able to have a conversation openly, civilly is important. But the haters, it's important because what it does, it's not gonna hurt me or Stone. Stone's gonna be doing his thing. My life isn't gonna change. But that immediately shows, if you can, like we just said, point that mirror at yourself, shows that you immediately have some stuff you need to personally unpack if you immediately just jump to vitriol.
Hurting people hurt people.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Facts.
That's all I'm saying. And you know what, too? Y'all shoot in any topic you want us to cover. You know, obviously, especially in entertainment.
Right.
But any topic you want us to cover and you want to make sure let's get on it. So by all means, you'll be able to email us that. You can follow us on Instagram at Life on Podcast, and you can always DM that. So, and as these other things get up, we'll make sure you have the information. But as of right now, today, you absolutely can connect with us on Instagram and on Twitter. Right. Both of them are Life on Podcast. Hello. This is our introduction. Hello.
The whole premise of this, it's been a long time coming for it to evolve into this, because from what it was, it kind of, in a funny way, was like you preaching. It's kind of what life was originally. It was like you in the front of a room with a bunch of people sitting out.
Right.
You kind of had this sermon kind of thing. And then there was like an interactive period at the end.
Right. You're talking about when I did Life
When
Live.
you did Life Live.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, too. If you guys help us grow, like I want to then have a live Life event maybe once or twice a year. You know what I'm saying? But look, I want to be different from it's turning into the point where there are millions of podcasts out there now. And it's not that I necessarily want to stand out heads above the rest, because podcasts are for specific audiences. Mm-hmm. So you listen to what you like that talks about what you like. So I get all that. But what I want to do, man, is I want to move you. I want to talk about the taboo stuff. And we want to get wild. We're going to get crazy. We're going to get funny. We're going to get sad. We're going to get emotional. We're going to get angry. All that stuff. But at the end of the day, when this podcast is done, I want you to leave a better person than when you signed in. That's my goal.
Yeah.
So as long as you remember that, we're going to be straight.
The one thing about it is most podcasts are designed this way, and not to start talking about others, because everybody's got their favorites.
Who's your favorite?
I like Brilliant Idiots.
Who?
Brilliant Idiots.
What's so funny is I'm doing a podcast, but there aren't really any podcasts that I listen to.
Really?
Nope. And I'm going to start listening to some, but I don't really listen to any.
A lot of them are, which is what I think is going to be, I'm not going to say different, because there's nothing new under the sun. But the fact that this is literally, it's an open conversation, it's an open dialogue. It's not like it's a pre-planned scripted thing.
Right.
We've got an idea of what we're talking about, but it's real life things that people are going through in business, in life, in entertainment, whatever it is. Most of the podcasts, they'll hit certain topics, and it's like it's an opinion piece in a sense. You have something, and they talk about what they think of a certain thing.
Right.
This is going to be straight sharing experiences.
Yeah, man.
Stone's got 25 years in the entertainment industry?
Yeah, and I don't want this to be an opinion piece. I don't want this just to be me giving y'all my thoughts on something and my opinion on something. I mean, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to leave a platform and a space for you guys to be able to share yours as well. And we're going to go back and forth. We're going to go blow for blow. Yeah. And, well, punch for punch is what I mean by that. I'm going to
make sure we learn, because the best way to learn is from somebody else's experiences, in my opinion. And I'm going to make sure we milk Stone for all his experience. I got some in my own. We'll get into some of my stuff,
have
too.
Some of your own, man.
But the thing is sharing those personal experiences and kind of making it an open book.
And I don't have a problem sharing my flaws. I really don't. I've been saying this phrase all week for some reason. I don't know why. I always say that one of the best people to get someone off drugs is someone who was on drugs. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I share my flaws, man. That's why you guys, I'm trying to tell you, if you have some kind of image of me, here's the thing. I don't want to sit there and just tell y'all, I'm about to let y'all down. Now, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is I'm gonna share my flaws.
It's possible.
I'm gonna be open, and y'all sometimes you're gonna be like, oh my God, I never knew, or what, or some of y'all gonna be like, see, I knew it, that little ninja.
But the important thing of that is that it'll show that everybody's got that aspect of it.
Yeah,
and
man.
Going back to that whole reflection thing, if we're openly reflective, and everybody gets to share in their reflectivity. I don't even know if is that a college word?
Not a word.
That's not a word?
I'm
going to add that one to the
a black
dictionary.
person
Reflectivity.
trying to sound smart word.
We're going to Google that.
I don't know why it got to be a black person trying to sound smart, but it's just it's a person trying to sound smart.
Discriminate, nigga? You mean other races don't attempt to sound smart stuff?
No, yeah, I know. I reeled it back in because I already knew somebody was going to jump on some pro-black stuff on that right now.
Publicly reflecting and sharing that reflection with other people. Again, it helps. I might find out some of my own stuff, man. Just by going through some of it with Stone and going back and forth with, things that may have happened 10, 15 years ago that could help me see things in a different way. Exactly.
Let it go.
And set you up for a better, a better journey on your trip to success. If that makes sense. That makes sense.
There it is. And this is all about success, y'all. Because like I said, at the end of the day, I want you to be a better person when you leave here. So since this is primarily, again, it's not only or solely based in entertainment, but it's primarily based in entertainment, let me tell you guys why I feel this is so important, why I'm doing this in the platform that I have. One, we've lost some good friends in entertainment, and at their own hands is what I mean, especially. And I wanted to create an environment where people in entertainment will come together and hopefully come on some kind of a consistent basis where a bit of a community was formed. And then with that community, a bit of trust was formed to the point where we trusted each other enough to start opening up about things that may be bothering us. And I always offered that at the end of life, usually if you had any questions or if anybody want to open up about anything. And that's hard to do with strangers, and I get it. But sometimes all you just need is this one person, saying, hey, are you okay? I had a guy when I was at Sony, there was a guy, an attorney who worked in our building, and, he came in one day and he just looked like he was having a rough time or a rough day. And I was like, yo, blah, blah, blah. I said, you good? And he's like, oh, man, just trying to make it, Stone, just going through, you know what I mean? And like most people would, I was just like, all right, man, well, keep your head up. And I kept moving, and that was that. So that weekend, we actually went out to L.A., and a friend of mine named Ian Burke, he actually called us while we were in L.A., and he's like, yo, did you hear about so-and-so? And we was like, no, what? He said, man, he shot himself and his wife.
Oh,
and
man.
we were like, what? And the first thing I thought about was that day when he was
passing.
like, man, and I can tell that he was dealing with something, but I just figured it was just business stuff, like nothing special. And I thought about that. I said, never again will I just willy-nilly just ask somebody, yo, you good? And just keep it moving.
And just let it move.
I'm always going to expect a response. I'm going to expect them to open it. And if it seems like they kind of give me that kind of surface answer of, oh, yeah, I'm great.
Press a little bit.
I'm going to ask. I'm like, are you sure? I said, you need anything? I said, if you need anything, yo, hit me. Let me know. I literally just did that with my friend Rob Stevenson yesterday. I saw him, and he's not the first. I do it a lot now since that lesson. But I hit him yesterday. If y'all don't know, Rob Stevenson is a world-class vocal coach. He does Justin Timberlake, Rihanna, even Robert De Niro, all these people. They're all his clients. So shout out to Rob Stevenson. But I hit him yesterday. I said, yo, Rob, what's up? You good? I said, just checking in. I don't want nothing. Just let me know if you need anything. And sure to hit me back. He said, dude, you have no idea how much that just meant to me just now. But then he said, I'm good. So I said, all right, man, cool. But sometimes that's all somebody needs.
It's just to know that somebody else genuinely cares about the situation. I think socially we get so comfortable with it because even in our greetings, hey, man, how's it going? It's going good. Like, that's just a natural response culturally. And we usually don't think anything of it. And 9 times out of 10, the person who just says good is dealing with something.
Right. Well, yeah, because everyone's dealing with something.
At any given moment.
And
it's just depending on what the severity of that is. It could be anywhere from they had a flat tire this morning, just don't feel like talking about having a rough morning, or somebody who seriously gotten to the breaking point to where suicide is what they feel like their next option is.
Yep.
And that's a wide-ranging gamut to go across. But I think just as a society, getting beyond just the knee-jerk responses that have become social norms in our conversation is an important thing. Again, having the conversation. Like, don't be afraid if somebody says, yo, man, how you doing today? If I'm not doing good, man,
that's big, though. A lot of people don't want to do that.
Like, Stone asked me this today. He was like, yo, man, how's everything? I was like, man, I'm tired. Like, I could have easily said, I'm cool. I'm good, because that's the knee-jerk response. But I'm exhausted.
And we get it. Like, I get why you would just be like, I'm good, because sometimes that good means I'm dealing with some things, but I got it under control.
Or I'm not just trying to dump it on somebody else.
Right, but one of those two. Yeah. And a lot of times it is, because I do that myself. If I am dealing with some stuff, but I'm dealing with it, and I'm working it through, it's cool.
Right.
I miss that whole middle part, and I just say, I'm good, because I know that I'm dealing with it.
Right.
So therefore, you're like, there's no point in me really telling you about it, because one, not only can you not do anything about it, I don't really need you to do anything about it. So therefore, we just be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I get that, you know what I'm saying? But the knee-jerk response of I'm good and you really are dealing with something, it doesn't hurt to let somebody know. And it doesn't mean you're complaining. It doesn't mean you're dumping your problems on someone. Although with some of y'all, it does. Because some of y'all are some freaking
just some
complainers.
curmudgeons.
You need to change your freaking attitude.
And we're going to work on that too.
Yeah, and just have more gratitude. So, again, this is a mirror moment then.
Yeah.
You know, you have to know that about yourself. Am I a complainer? Am I a whiner? You know, or if someone asks me how I'm doing, you know what? Put it this way. If someone asks you how you're doing, you're not complaining about it. You're just sharing.
Exactly. It's the truth.
Yeah, you're just sharing.
Yeah.
And it can be like, oh, man, just figuring out what I'm going to do next. You know, job just let me go. So just trying to figure it out. You have no idea if I'm hiring.
Right.
If you don't say nothing.
Yeah.
And I have learned that I hate small conversation. I'm not very good at it. At the little small conversation, you know what I mean? I'm not good at it. But I have learned when someone says, so what are you working on? Right. I usually be like, oh, shoot, man, this is usual day-to-day stuff. I have learned to try to say the little things that I'm working on. And I literally just had a situation the other day, and I'm trying to remember what it was. But an opportunity came out of it because I said what I was
what you was actually doing.
And the dude was like, oh, I know. Well, would you actually?
I
forgot what we were talking about, and I said, well, I can't do my lock-in
you were looking for space.
Upward Bound because I'm I could have just been like, oh, man, just trying to work out this lock-in thing.
Right.
Which is normally how I would probably answer. But instead, I was like, well, I'm working on my lock-in. I can't use my space because I have a tenant, so I'm trying to find me a space. Johnny was like, oh, let me call so-and-so. They might have a spot. And sure enough, hits me back. And he says, you know what? Reach out to him tomorrow. Here's his contact. He has a couple of options for you. Bam.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, God's good. I found another option. But if I didn't say what it was I was working on, I would have had no idea that there was an answer right there.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing about it is too, and it's not, because some people immediately jump to the thought of, that's my personal business and not everybody's business. And it's not like you got to pour your whole soul out in that situation.
Right.
It's, the one thing about humanity is that I feel, and technology has a lot to do with it, that we've become so disconnected that we've forgotten how to emotionally connect and interact with people. And these little things, like Stone says, like just a small thing. If you talk about one little thing, that's a connection you have. And even if nothing like this comes out of a business opportunity or a job or anything like that, you now have a rapport. Even though on the surface level, it may not seem like it's deep, but you've connected with that person on a level other than, because I promise you, 100% of the people who if I meet randomly, hey man, how's it going? It's going good. I do not remember those people. But I remember there's a person I met, and I will never forget this, and I'm just throwing this out there randomly because it's such a random story. I was in high school, and I asked this young lady, I can't remember her name, but I'll never forget the scenario. I was like, how was your day going? And she told me this whole thing, that she missed the school bus, lost one of her shoestrings in gym. And like to this day, I will never forget that experience. I will remember her face if I run into, again, I can't remember her name, but like little things like that, we've now connected right, across decades because of something small.
Absolutely.
And if I were to see her again in public, let's say she's on hard times, I'm emotionally invested because I remember you now.
No, that's a real good point, man. And to those of you that are being asked, like if you're the one asking, what's up, you good or whatever, don't feel like you're putting yourself in a pressure position to have to then provide an answer or a solution. Sometimes it's just an ear. Sometimes, and if the person does answer your question, if you're like, yo, how you doing? And they literally start saying, well, I'm dealing with this. If there's nothing you can do, then just be like, well, man, just offer a word of encouragement. Just be like, say, damn, I wish there was something I can do. But you know what? Keep your head up. If I think of anything, I'll let you know. But at least now you know. And now your radar has also been set, because if you go throughout your day and you come across something, you're like, oh, man, dude's dealing with this. Shoot him an email, shoot him a text. I'm just saying, you just open yourself up. But again, it's all about community. We were all put on this earth for each other.
I think one of the most important things that will be a huge takeaway from a lot of our conversations, because you're going to have disagreements, is the difference between sympathy and empathy. So going to what you just said, just lending the ear and not necessarily having to provide a response, sometimes you can't empathize. And not being able to empathize puts you in a scenario where you're not going to have anything to offer, really.
And sometimes you can feel helpless.
Yeah. But being sympathetic to somebody's situation, especially if you can't empathize, usually is enough of a support bump for that person who's dealing with whatever it is. So don't be afraid to offer that sympathy.
You just never know, man. You never know. And a friend of mine, she went through pretty bad relationship breakup scenario where the person she ended up marrying turned out to be someone completely different, and it's taken her a minute to heal over that. And I told her, I said I'm always a phone call away. I was like, always pick up the phone. And of course, she's at the way she's just like, I don't like dumping my problems on people, whatever, this and that. And so I was like, well, from now on, I'm gonna flip the script and I'm just dump on you. So I'm gonna call you all the time. And actually, she turned around and be like, you know what, that would be nice. There you go. And an artist I'm working with, Serena Grace. She's the same way. I'll sit there and be like, hey, how you doing? She's like, great. And she'll say it like that, too. So you'll believe it. But I've gotten to know her a bit where I can even literally see it on her face.
Kind of see through it a little bit.
Yeah, and I'll be like, all right, you ain't great. What's going on? And she's like, don't be acting like you know me. You know what I mean? She's Spanish. She's got that little accent. She goes, don't be acting like you know me. But then she'll talk it out. And then we usually have an amazing discussion. And she's like, I always feel so much better when I talk to you. And I was like, well, stop freaking saying great every time I ask you how's everything going.
But again, that's that knee jerk.
It's
just kind of
programmed it's people not wanting to share or feel like they are dumping their laundry on other people, and it's actually for them they're being considerate.
Right.
If you ask them, they're being considerate. Say, hey, I don't want to bring you
Burden
down with this stuff. Yeah, I don't want to put a cloud on your day, but I asked. Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. So if you're going to ask, just expect an answer to it, man. If everybody did that, man, this would be a crazy, crazy, crazy.
Well, that's the thing, man. We've got to evolve to that point because, again, it's social programming, one. And then two, I think the majority of people in general, we do care about other people, which is why we don't naturally want to dump our problems on other people because we know everybody on some subconscious level, we know everybody's going through something. And you do have those people that they're always looking for somebody else to solve their problem, so they're constantly dumping on. And you do have to be wary of those people.
You absolutely do.
Those type of people, they don't even understand that they're being parasitic in their energy.
You ain't got to do that with me because I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And I have friends who I tell that to. I said, you've been going through this same crap for a minute. And I'll be like, what's the freaking problem?
Right.
And they're like, I don't know. I said, like, ease up. I said, no, not ease up.
Yeah.
I was easy the first 10 times you told me you was having this situation.
With no adjustments.
Nope. I said, man, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm really good at being that size 11 in somebody's behind. I really am.
I'm that friend, and Stone might be the same in your circles too, that everyone comes to and like nobody really checks in on. Like I got a couple
I do a lot of pouring.
Yeah.
I don't get poured into a whole lot. Okay, but I go to places, like especially like church and online stuff where they pour, so I'll get fed.
I got you.
But I'm definitely
and that's
more
me.
the
Yeah,
pourer.
man. And that's the hard thing is trying to keep that well full because you keep pulling from it. I've got a lot of female friends just from over the years, and as common with a lot of female friends, they have men problems. And this one friend of mine, we've been cool since 6th grade, and she's like a sister to me. But since dating age, 16, 17, every year, man, there's a man problem.
Right.
And
females always, they tend to gravitate towards effeminate guys gay guys. So that's probably why.
You thinking I'm a little effeminate? I'm a little
trying
to say?
Playing with you.
Hey, baby, if that's what got me married, whatever it looks like on the outside, I ain't worried about what it looks like on the. We know what it is at home.
Got your number.
The thing about her though is that after literally 5, 6, 7 years of that cycle, I was like, look. I've been trying to be a good friend and not hurt your feelings, and I've realized that I've been a terrible friend by not hurting your feelings.
Boom.
It's you.
Boom.
And
boom. Yo, say it again.
Yeah, no, I felt like I was protecting her by not telling her the truth when it was obvious to me from Jump Street that it was her. She had a bad attitude. She wanted, and didn't want to give anything in return. And my nails need to be done. She was one of those girls, not in an evil way. It's just she was raised to her man is supposed to do all this. And I was like, look, this ain't the age we live in no more. And if you're gonna be out here messing with this new age of brothers who wants some reciprocity, it's not 50-50. It's 100-100. You got to come with it if you want to give it back. And again, like what this conversation is talking about, she had a real hard time with that self-reflection in the beginning because first of all, you supposed to be my friend, and you attacking me. That's what she felt like off the jump.
Oh, God.
And I was like, you know what? Let's take a break. And we didn't talk for 7 months maybe.
Right.
And after a while, she started going through some other stuff, and she had that self-reflection started kicking in, and she realized, you know what? You was right. And I was like, you got to tell me.
Yeah, tell me. I'm just glad you realized.
I'm just glad we
And
can get back to us.
I even posted about that. I was like, we gravitate to those who tell us what we want to hear, and then shun those who tell us the truth. And I literally just went that with a good friend of mine too. She went through or is going through, or is dealing with whatever, a life situation. And when I asked her, I said, well, because it's things that are at first, and I guess it's still, I don't know if they do now anymore or not, but there was a point when it just went against her own values and morals and stuff. Right. And so I was like, well, do you talk to people about it? And not a lot of people knew or know. And then, but the friends she's talking to are the ones that are like agreeing with her.
Yes, man.
And support when you know darn well, you know what I mean? And I was like, why? Yeah. I said, what are you talking about? I said, okay, so you talking to the ones that are going to support what you're trying to do. When you clearly are sitting here and telling me that it's a battle and that you're conflicted, and you're like, so that's how you feel, but you're going to go for the ones that are going to.
And this is important, too.
Man.
People who do that, like, and if you listen to this, you know who you are. If you're one of those people that are just looking for validation for whatever it is. Like, if you're just looking for somebody to co-sign whatever it is you're doing, I know I'm the wrong person.
I don't mean that. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not going to say don't come to me, but I'm not that dude.
Come to me, but you're probably not going to get what you're looking for.
The good thing about her, she doesn't get offended easily or nothing like that.
Okay.
And we had a talk, and she was like, no, you're right. But, because at the end of the day, a person's going to do what they want to do anyway.
Of course.
So, but my whole thing is I want to give you something that bothers your spirit when you sleep.
Yeah.
If you're doing what you shouldn't be doing, whether it's drugs, whether it's, whatever it may be, stealing or whatever. I want to be that voice that makes you feel uncomfortable. You're not easy. You're not going to be comfortable around me if what you're doing is some crooked stuff. And again, I do this with myself. I lie to you not. There are plenty of times I'm up in that prayer room by myself, straight with God. I don't go with God, be like, oh, help me with this, and oh, Lord, I'm praying for all this kind of stuff, and then leave my dirt under. I'll be like, God, I know I shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I screwed up. I know I did. I said, I'm trying not to, but I can't seem to. I keep it 100. I keep it one, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not trying to be a hypocrite on this thing. That's what I'm saying. I got my flaws. I got the things that I do. So just because I'm coming at you, don't mean that I'm perfect myself. But
well, as you said,
9.9 times out of 10, though, what I'm telling you, I've either done it, or I'm doing.
Or you're doing it now.
Straight up.
And that's the thing. Like you said, the best person to help a drug addict get out of drugs is somebody who's been on it. So like somebody who has struggled through the same kind of stuff and has learned how to reflect on it is usually the best person for you to learn how to be self-reflective on it. Because don't nobody want to accept that they doing jacked up stuff. I mean, in my marriage right now, like and the dangerous thing about my relationship is that it's so good that it's almost scary because we were best friends. So it's like we literally know everything about each other.
Right.
But even after years of living with each other, little things still come up. And I had to realize that there were certain things that I was doing that wasn't necessarily aligning with what my wife needed. And I had to, look, okay, if you want to continue to keep this as good as it is, you got to stop this little thing or it's going to fester and turn into something big.
Right.
And I mean, I don't even want to say how small it is because it's something real stupid and embarrassing, but I nipped it. I had to acknowledge that I was doing it first.
That had to hurt.
And it did, man.
That had to hurt.
Blades on the.
That had to hurt.
It was just like that.
Just to nip that small thing. I hope the doctor was doggone skilled, bro. That's
they got the little airy things now. They don't even use snippers.
No, I don't know actually. So don't say you know. I don't know. So.
But that's the thing, man. See, Stone like to take it down.
Just saying,
like to take it down.
You one of them dudes that open the double doors just wide.
But see, the thing is,
and then be like, "Don't walk through this door."
And this is the cool thing about me and Stone's friendship is that I can go places that I'm still nervous that I don't know if Stone will go quite yet.
Hey, do not test. Y'all remember my introduction, right? Y'all remember my introduction? I said that introduction for a reason.
Man,
I believe in the gift of repentance and forgiveness. Let me tell you something. I drain that card daily. So do not test my resolve.
Drain that card daily. See, I'm not gonna go there.
I'm
but he did
telling you, man.
It's very important though to be able to put that lens on yourself.
Yeah.
Acknowledge what it is. And then start taking steps. It's just like everything what this whole podcast is going to be about. The building blocks, the process, the equations, the formulas to doing things. It all starts with self. Like the discipline that's going to be required to do anything you do, the discipline that it takes to start something new, your relationship skills, your networking skills, it all starts with understanding that you are a variable in that equation, but you're the variable that you can control.
Right.
And if you can be self-reflective enough to alter that variable, which is you, you'll be able to interact and interchange and implement yourself in different processes and situations a lot easier than being in denial and looking for people to co-sign what you're doing.
Right.
And being that person that's just so stubborn that I don't, my don't stink. You know what I'm saying? And I need an okay from you. Like, don't you with me, right? And you know, you're looking for that, and you're setting yourself up for failure, because eventually you're gonna run into somebody like me or Stone that's gonna hit you with the nah, I ain't with you, because I'm not gonna be looking like Boo Boo the Fool with you when you bump your head.
I'm gonna use you for an example on the podcast.
Yeah,
but I won't. And I will say this, all jokes aside, a little bit is I'll rarely, if ever, drop a name. So
we're gonna subtweet you a lot.
Yeah, yeah, but that's one thing. I'll rarely, if ever, drop a name. I ain't out here to throw nobody under a bus, embarrass nobody, but if you give me a great example to use on, I'm gonna use it. And really, if you don't move or call in, won't nobody know I'm talking about you.
And hopefully, the conversation about it helps you more so than an embarrassing, because that's not the intent. The intent is not to put you on,
or help someone else,
or that.
That's primarily what it is to help somebody else.
Exactly.
But I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. If y'all do listen to this part, that you ain't got to worry about it. I ain't gonna put nobody on blast.
Yeah.
Not gonna throw you on the bus. That's not what it's about. But look, man. So like I said, we just want to introduce you guys to this podcast. We're excited about this journey, but I will tell you this: this journey can only be as excited as you. Or as exciting as you make it. By all means, man. Even if we're live, you know, call in, you know, text, blah blah blah. But even when we're not, shoot them to us. We'll cover them on the next podcast. You know what I mean? Like,
and we're always responding too, because Stone lives on IG sometimes.
Well,
so, I mean,
I have my moments. I have my little streak when I got stuff I want to get out, and then I have my little break. But absolutely, I want to keep y'all involved. And if you do bring up a great topic or question, and let's put it this way. How about this? The standard thing is we will always credit whoever brings up the topic or the question.
If you say so.
If you don't want to be credited, just say anonymous.
Say so.
Just say anonymous, and I won't.
That works.
But I think that's great, because like I said, you know, you have people that we don't have, and you know, we might talk about it for a while, and they be like, let me get back to this person who brought it up, because maybe they know something. I don't know.
Right.
I'm just talking. But
and the important thing about it is too is that it's not just a platform to, like I said in the beginning, preach. Like, it's not just spewing information at you. Like, we gonna grow out of this too. I know I will. I mean, because everybody's experiences, learning from everybody else's experience is the best way to learn. Like I said, so I'm gonna be paying attention to everything we talk about, everybody we talk to, and using that for my personal growth. Because again, everybody's going through something. And you can always relate that if you learn to be sympathetic to those situations, to some scenario you're dealing with. Yeah.
No kids on here is like, all right, what's
with
the problem?
What's
permission? The problem with dealing with your parents? You know what I mean? What is it? You can say whatever you want. It's gonna be a safe place. You know, whatever. Any and everything.
It's going to be a safe place while you in the studio now. They whoop your ass when you get out of here.
That's not my problem.
That's not on us.
It ain't my fault.
So it's going to be some.
It ain't my fault.
There might be some release forms involved with the kids.
Right. We'll do false names. And your daddy is who?
Yeah.
Oh, Mac. Okay.
Right.
So we are out of here. This is our first podcast. Woo!
Yeah, man.
We need a sound effect.
It's going to be that claps and cheers and all of that stuff.
There's the sound effect for y'all.
Yeah, real excited to be on this journey, man. Stone's got some amazing stuff in the works. I can't wait to get into the stuff you're doing with books.
Oh, man.
Dude, this stuff's important, man. I mean, it's a lot of ideas that I think is going to be a huge edifying platform in general, just to everybody in some respect. Because
I appreciate it. I'm working for it.
It's wide ranging.
So
and I'm going to try to be a good person.
So in the meantime, please follow us on Instagram and on Twitter.
Yes.
It's Life on Podcast.
Yep.
You can follow me, your boy Stone. I am Stone 007. That is the letter O, because there's somebody out there with the zeros and they won't come off it.
You know what? I never knew that.
Yeah, man. Meet me in the street after I'm done. But for now, it's Stone 007. And then Johnny is
just Johnny Vaughn, JUSTJONYVAN.
JONY. Make sure you get that.
Yeah, it's
just
the proper way.
Jony Vaughn. We out of here, man. We see y'all next week.
Yeah.